Hey, it's me. Okay, so like I wanted this to be a vlog channel and like an art channel, and I think it'd be fun, but I really don't have any art that's current because I haven't been doing anything these past few weeks. Been so busy with graduation and thank you notes and binge watching TV and stuff. So thought I would just show you guys my sketchbook. Do a quick sketchbook tour because although I say I haven't done anything recently, I didn't finish, but I have a pretty much full sketchbook right now. So I thought, this would be a good place to start off. And I don't have any makeup on because I haven't been home, or I have been home all day, not doing anything except editing stuff, and and so I was thinking, you know what? This is the real me. Let's just go with it. I hardly ever do my makeup anyways, so let's get into this. Okay, I know my desk is really messy and this isn't the best angle, but we're gonna go with it, okay? So this is my cover. I just stuck a bunch of paper on it and then taped it down and stuck stickers over it. And then I put, some there were more tassels on there at one point in time, but there aren't anymore. I thought my door opened. Okay. So, and ignore my nails, I know they're gross. Starting out. It's one of those weird sketchbooks. I don't use these types of things, so I'm more a do-it-yourself person. So, that keeps coming up. But my front page was some paper that I liked, that I stole from the art room closet. And then I put my visitor sticker from when I went to my school. I don't know why I got a visitor sticker, but yeah, they printed me one out. So I was like, hey, that's kind of cool. I'll stick it in my sketchbook. And then an invitation to my graduation party that already happened. Here was a to-do list that I had, some contests and stuff that I was interested. Some sketches for a contest. This is a really, really colorful pastel poster idea that I had. But yes, this was a poster idea I had. I thought it was pretty cool. I liked all the bright colors and stuff, and then of course I was doing some abstract madness over here on this end. Okay. And then this was some I was playing with watercolors and oil pastel, so I was layering them. And then this was practice for a card I was making for somebody, because there was one point in time where I would make all my own cards. This was a drawing that's inspired by Medusa. See, I had started by drawing Medusa over here, but I don't like that up there, but I really liked the way these snakes turned out. And then I was like going in with like some Sharpies and stuff, playing with thickness and stuff of saturation and lines, and I just thought it looked cool in the end. And then I had a white gel pen that I bought at an art competition, and I went in and did some outlining on the snakes to make them like pop more. Ooh, damn. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And you'll have to excuse all this mess over here and over here. I've been real busy with stuff. It'll get cleaned eventually, I promise. Okay, next. This was a collage that I was working on, for like aesthetic purposes. It's supposed to be cool colors on this side, warm colors on this side. It's supposed to kind of show some luxury type stuff going on. I found this cool block print letter, I don't know. Everybody has a look, and so I felt that would be a good barrier between the two contrasting sides. And then I kind of liked that she was popping out the top, and then these guys are popping out the bottom. Thought it added a little bit more to the design, even though the design is a mess, actually. This was me playing around with oil pastels again. I did a tree and then a giraffe, but I didn't spray him properly at first, and so he kind of got some smudging from the tree on him. Otherwise it's pretty good for a first attempt. I'd never actually, besides the live oak thing I did back there, this was like the first time I ever really messed with oil pastels, and I thought, not bad for a first try. I thought he looked a little plain, and so later I went back and did a marker circle, but if I was to do it again, I would probably go buy some nice markers and do it. I did this with like a crappy Crayola marker, and I don't like the way it turned out. It's a little streaky for me. I don't know, maybe it adds some texture to the piece, but I intended for it to be smooth at first, so I was a little disappointed. These are some transparencies that we did. This is a transparent sticker I had from an old box I stuck in there, and then these were transparency sheets that we layered over some black and white printed photos, and we tried to go in and fill in the color. This was somewhere on the Frio, it looks like, and then this was a mountain. I liked the way this one turned out more because I added a lot more detail in it. I think it turned out pretty cool. I really liked it. We call these pop art landscapes, and that of course was just me stealing some scraps. So this was a mess. I really don't like the way this turned out. It was supposed to be kind of an aesthetic page, and I was using those watercolor gouache paint type things, but I wasn't watering them down because I didn't know what I was doing, and so it didn't turn out like I intended. But this day I was like eating a lot of these guys. I really love these candies. They're so good. I don't know where we got them from, but they showed up in our fridge one day and they're pretty good. And I did some Polaroids, and I found these little corner things at Target, and so I wanted to test those out. I liked it. And there's my boyfriend, and there's my study space. I think I was working on government. No, I was working on econ. Yeah, I'm really bad at econ. That's the only econ class I'll ever take. Yeah, and then this was the Snapchat filter for the day, or the overlay that they do on all the pictures. And so I really liked the design of it, so I tried to copy it onto my sketchbook. It would have looked cool if I would have done it in Sharpie, but I probably should go back and do that one time. But yeah. This was I was the art club president at my school, and so this was my agenda for one of our meetings. Also, I used a gel highlighter to kind of sketch some stuff. I was bored one day. I was reading Beowulf, and this was my study break. So Beowulf's an interesting story, but I think I liked doing this a lot better than I liked reading it. So this was just a inspiration page I had one day when I was bored. I used to really love doing this design in the background. I'm a huge Van Gogh fan, and as you can see, this is my favorite piece by Van Gogh. It used to be my laptop wallpaper for the longest time. Really love Van Gogh, but the background is something that I've done for years. It's like a Van Gogh inspired background, and I really like it. I used to do it on everything. I really like Frida Kahlo as well. She's an inspiration to me. I like her kind of surrealism. I really do enjoy her work. I like the aesthetics of it, and I think it's very interesting. This is El Matador. I can't exactly remember. I think his name is Coronado, possibly. He's a very famous print artist. He's a very cool screen print artist, and I saw this at the Briscoe Museum in San Antonio, the Briscoe Western Art Museum, and I fell in love with it. And I don't know, I really wanted to try doing something like that this year, but the supplies for it came in way too late, and so my teacher and I really didn't get a chance to experiment with it much, but it turned out pretty cool. This is gonna take forever. I have a lot to get through. I really like Aboriginal, the dots and stuff, how like they make the Aboriginal artwork is very cool. I don't know, I like it. I also really like Bob Ross. I know it's really cliche, but I like his techniques that he uses. Like sometimes I'll watch his videos and follow along, and I just think his videos are so calming, and what he did was pretty revolutionary. It got a lot of people into art, or the art of imitation, of course, and I really like following along with his tutorials. It's very like calming for me. And then I like palette knife art and like with the color blocked stuff. I've done several things like that, but none of them ever really turned out that good. But you know, I like it. Okay, so these are some blind contours that I did of my friends in class one day. This was an oil pastel pen and CD mixed media I broke some CDs apart, taped them in here, and then did some pen drawings underneath them, and then I did some Sharpie and some oil pastels over them. I overall really like the way this turned out. This is probably one of my favorite things in my sketchbook. It was really different from what I'm used to doing, and it was very cool. This was a design I had done for the Doodle for Google contest. The theme was what inspires me, and I did my family. But yeah, this is my family. These were part of a coloring book that our art teacher brought with us to an art competition, and in between interviews we colored this in, and I really liked the way mine turned out, but I didn't want to fill in the whole thing, so I cut it out and I glued it in here. I really like these. I think they're very cool. This was something I never actually got around to doing. I was supposed to do a Picasso style portrait of myself here. See, I had my little models already taped on there to go, but I never got around to it, sadly. I was really excited about doing that, but I never did it. This is an SD card that I have some pictures on that I was using a while back. I don't think I'm using it anymore. I don't know. This was a bag that I'd gotten from a Candygram, and the shovel was in the Candygram. It said, "I dig you." And so I was like, you know what, this would be good to keep stuff in my sketchbook. And of course it was. I had some money in there for a while. I carry my SD cards in there, usually. I had some candy wrappers in there. Yeah, so an Elvis sticky note that I stole from my teacher. This was some model work I had done with proportions. I'm really bad at proportions, and so my teacher was trying to help me out a little bit. So we're working on that. These were some sketches that I did of faces. I'm not very good at drawing at all, and so this is me practicing. I was following along with some tutorials, I think, on these over here, and that this was just me freehanding and practicing. Kind of looks like a caveman. This was another meeting agenda. These were some models I did of a horse for another competition I was doing. I think these turned out pretty cool. I really liked this horse. I really liked this one. I think this one's kind of cool. He's a little chubby, but I like him. I enjoy drawing horses, but I don't really get around to doing it very often. It's kind of fun. This was some paint that I found in our storage supply room, and I really liked the colors, and I was like, okay, I have to put this in there. And so I did, and I really like it. And then I had also found a watercolor set with some like weird colors in there, and I was like, ooh. And so I was playing around with that. I really liked watercolor. I kind of fell in love with it this year. It's something that I've been kind of messing with throughout the year, and so I hope to do some actual art with it, not just sketching around. But yeah, some of this is faded, but it was really cool when I first did it. These were some sketches that I did for a sidewalk mural I was gonna do. I forgot the name of this guy, but there's this street artist, and he does these like caverns and stuff on the sides of buildings, and so I was like, well, I have to try that, and so I did, and it turned out really cool. I liked the way these turned out here, and then they turned out even cooler on the sidewalk. This was a to-do list that my teacher had for me. Here's a baby picture of me, and I was messing with the colors in this photo, and I found markers to match them, and then I drew them underneath, so I was kind of color blocking it in a way. These were some designs that I was working on, playing around with, moving around for a baseball flag from the team at my school. We were messing with some designs for the team, because they wanted a flag for the dugout. These were some flowers that I did in Crayola marker. Here's a Kehinde Wiley inspired. Oh, this is embarrassing. But yeah, this is supposed to be Kehinde Wiley inspired, and I thought it was kind of funny. So I did the background real cool, and then I stuck myself in there because I'm not the greatest portrait artist. Here were some more designs I was working on for the team. This one's ugly, but that one's not bad. And then this was the final one that they wanted to go with, and it turned out really good. Here are some more watercolor designs I was playing with, and then we were doing printmaking in class, and so we carved out this thank you one so we could do some thank you notes, my teacher and I, and we were playing with it a little bit. The black one that I did on the other side faded through here, so it's kind of sad about that. Here were some sun prints that my sister and I did one day when the sun finally started to come out. Just kidding, it's always out. I live in Texas. I taped them on there with some washi tape. I really liked this one though. This one turned out really cool. Sun prints are very cool, and I highly recommend trying them if you haven't. It's really fun to do. Here were some, I was kind of inspired by those Mexican sodas. They're pretty cool. I like the colors and like the contrast of the different ones. So I really liked this, and I had fun doing it. I used my cool watercolor set that I recently got at that point there, and I enjoyed doing it. It's pretty fun. I have a water pen, so I went in and taped this in later. I was looking for a blank space, but here's some. I liked the matcha Pockies, and so I liked the design of the box, and so I went in and taped it in after I tore a piece of the box off. But matcha Pockies, they're good. My cousin thinks they're disgusting, but I think they're pretty good. Then I was messing around with some washi tape here, and then this is, I'm really into embroidery art, and so I was kind of playing with embroidery on paper, practicing my French knots, and these little chicken foot looking guys. This is really fun. This is a mess. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was mixing colors for something, but I can't remember what. And here's some foil I was stamping onto, thinking about using some foil for a piece that I was working on, but I kind of gave up on it. Here is a watercolor that I did a little bit of gouache in to kind of give it some strength, I guess. I like the way it turned out overall. It's just I wish this was a lot thinner. I kind of messed up there. Should have just done that with a Sharpie. So yeah, I was inspired by a YouTube artist. I can't exactly remember his name, but I really liked the way that turned out. And I'd probably try it again on my next sketchbook. I was practicing mixing with some skin tone colors. I was supposed to be doing a Mexican man, and I did not succeed. The lips were way too pink. The eyes were too harsh. They're too feminine as well. And then I did the skin tones way too light. Probably should have layered them a little bit more and then added some deeper browns. This was a sketch I had for a contest called Home of the Brave, and I was supposed to layer foil over American flags and then do a Mexican man standing right there in American Revolution style clothing. But it turned out terrible and I hated it, so I didn't enter it anywhere. Yeah. I was playing around with some pottery designs for the flags. I thought, that might be a cool concept. I didn't end up going through with that though. And I asked my friend if I could use him as a model, so I took his picture and then I tried sketching him out. And not bad for someone who's really bad at portraits. His nose could have been a lot smaller and more up, and then his eyes could have been a lot bigger, but it was a first try. And it looks kind of like him. Here was, my teacher found a old typewriter, but like one from like the 80s, and so she brought it in and we were playing with it. And so it looked like poetry, and so I thought it would be funny to put it in here, kind of poetry style, just with a blank page. But yeah, and then I was doing some scratch art of my dog, and it turned out terrible. And here was a thank you note I had kind of planned out on these sticky notes for a woman who helped us with some fundraisers. This was my list of stuff I was going to get from my friends. for graduation. Here is, I had a lot of confetti left over from the drawing of one of our contests, and so we had a bunch of kids with those popper things, and so after they popped them, I really liked the way the confetti's colors looked against each other, so I picked some up and I took it home and I taped it in here to look kind of like the emoji. And so yeah, I really liked that. I thought it was kind of cool. Here are some library finds from my textbooks. This was me practicing with my watercolor set before working on, cover that up, before working on this design. This was supposed to be my graduation invitation, but I couldn't find a way to effectively scan it into the computer while keeping like the richness of the colors, and so I kind of scratched the idea, but I really like the way it looked. It looked like kind of stained glassy. I think I did the same back here, but you know, I cheated. But this is what it turned out like when I printed it up, and I really didn't like the colors on this as much as I liked the very rich ones, and so I scratched the idea. But the pink kind of faded to like this purpley color, and so I thought it matched really nicely, and so I kind of taped that in there because this matches with the reds, and it says throw kindness around like confetti, and it looks like, I mean, that reminds me of the confetti piece that's in here somewhere. Confetti piece. And yeah. I had this in this on the other side. So this was supposed to be like the base. It's like to tell you what's going on, and then I was gonna have like this information in there. But, you know, didn't work out as I wanted. This was the inspiration for my senior ceiling tile. At our school we have this thing where the teacher, she takes the ceiling tiles out of the ceiling, and then each senior student gets to decorate one their own way. And so I did mine kind of that style. And I had this right here so I could sketch it out, but I never did. I misspelled ceiling. Great. This was me sketching for my graduation cap. You know, like from here, like actually, yeah, from here forward, I was going to like kind of a dry spell, but then, you know, I at least started getting back in it, and my senior ceiling tile turned out really cool. This was for my grad cap. My grad cap turned out really cool. This was for a time lapse that I was working on as a project for one of my old teachers. She texted me and asked me to do it, and so I did it. And I did a heart impressionistic style, you know, because I love Van Gogh, and it was kind of fun to watch the time lapse. Yeah, I really liked that. And here I was drinking a peach nectar, and I liked the way it looked, so I sketched it out, and I was like, hey, that'd be kind of cool if I added some tape around it, and so I did, and it turned into something cool. I don't know, I like it. And then this was a sketch for a mural that I did in the auditorium at my school, and this turned out a lot cooler than the actual mural, let me tell you. I really liked the way this turned out, but sadly could not convey exactly this because of the wall space, but it was very cool and I liked it. So, this was some Kendra Scott wrapping paper that I thought this paper contrasted very nicely with. I was working on sketching with pen right here because I heard that sketching with pen is a lot better for you artistically. You learn to like cover up your mistakes better and roll with it. So I practiced for the first time with this fashion drawing here. This was a stamp that I had used for several cards earlier this year, and I liked the Kendra Scott gold seal against everything. I thought it really brought it all together. And then of course there's a lot of contrasting colors going on, and I really like this page. I think it turned out pretty cool. This I saw this thing on Twitter, and it was a thread of leopards biting their tails, and so I really thought it was cute, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna draw that. And so I did, and I really liked the way this guy turned out, and this guy turned out cool, but this guy looked kind of like an owl. but I think it's turned out not bad for someone who's bad at drawing. And then, of course, I have these 2 pages that are stained. I don't know why they're all stained all of a sudden. But yeah, this was my friend's mom's signature. I forge signatures for people sometimes, and so there's a practice page for me because her signature is actually kind of cool. Sorry, Jennifer. And then here is a weed that I took from my parking spot at the auditorium where I do one act, and I pressed it and I taped it in here with some tape. And so this is my first sketchbook ever, and I finished it. And I'm 18 years old, and this is my first sketchbook, and that's crazy because why didn't I start this earlier? I really love doing it, and you should probably expect to see some more as time progresses, because this is something I love doing. Okay. That's all for now.